Well, more than 130 days spent in Russian custody, and right now Brittney Griner is learning whether she can walk free or if she'll be convicted on the charges brought up against her. Now, Chris Sadeghi is with us in studio. Chris, when we think of a trial here in America, we think, okay, innocent until proven guilty. In Russia, very different.
Right. I was going to say this may be called a trial, but it's not going to be a trial in the sense that we think of here in our justice system. Instead, legal and political experts think that Griner's day in a Russian court is going to amount to political theater. Now, here's video of Griner walking into the courtroom this morning. Many of the guaranteed rights of a fair trial that we have in the U.S., they don't exist in Russia. There will be no jury, no opening and closing statements, and in Russian trials, it's usually the judge asking the questions instead of the attorneys and then rendering the verdict. The expectation is Griner will be convicted and will face up to 10 years in a Russian prison. Her wife, Sherelle, told CNN she does not think the U.S. has done enough to keep that from happening.
Because I do trust that the persons working on this are very genuine people. That I do believe. But I don't think the maximum amount of effort is being done because, again, the rhetoric and the actions don't match.
And as we learned from Trevor Reed's imprisonment, it could take time. Reed was held more than 2 years before being swapped for a Russian prisoner in America. And when it comes to Americans in the Russian legal system, a conviction might be motivated less about the evidence or any sense of justice, and more so by the political implications. Someone like Griner could be considered a negotiating chip by Russia. Political science professor Kimmy King at UNT says if Russian President Vladimir Putin thinks he can use Griner to his benefit, he will.
If there is some way that manipulating the judiciary and manipulating American sentiment could be used by Vladimir Putin, he would do so. But any action that he takes will only be based on what he sees as his own rational self-interest.
And Griner's receiving a ton of support here stateside from many fellow athletes who are urging our government to bring her home the way they did Trevor Reed. The Biden administration has said they consider her wrongfully detained and are working to bring her home along with other Americans imprisoned abroad.
Yeah, we've seen so much support, especially in Houston, people getting together online as well with the hashtag Free Brittney. But has there been any negotiations between the U.S. and Russia in terms of her release?
There have been talks, according to reports. We don't know how extensive, but those reports are that the countries did discuss a swap to bring Griner home in exchange for Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout. Now, he's been in prison since 2011, serving a 25-year sentence. He was convicted on evidence that he conspired to kill Americans, so obviously that's a big consideration when you're talking about possibly letting someone like that go free.
Yeah. All right, I guess we'll wait and see what happens this morning. Thanks, Chris.